Because the smart ones understand that financial freedom is not about having the biggest house, the biggest car, the shiniest piece of jewelry. It's about having the ability to show up when you want to and do what you want as you want. When you have to report, when you have to clock in, when you have to cooperate, you are not free. We made it to 2021. Both giants in office, but still things are getting weirder in America. There's a lot of red flags that I see when I look at society. Okay, when you turn on that TV and you see the state of human beings, there's a lot of red flags, things that are concerning. Now, I'm not much of a conspiracy guy at this point in my life. But what I can tell you is that you should be concerned if you are the type of person who enjoys freedom. If you have things that you want to chase and pursue in your life, and you are the kind of person that moves at the beat of their own drum, then you should be a little bit concerned about what's happening to society. Okay? Now, I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not here to tell you, oh no, all is bad, because that's on all the time, 24/7. That's not 100% accurate. What you got to understand, though, is that if you want to break apart from the status quo, okay, you want to break apart from the nonsense that's going on in the world, you have to achieve financial freedom. And in 2021, financial freedom is only going to become more difficult to obtain. So before I go over why you need to achieve financial freedom and why it's going to be even more difficult to achieve going forward, the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to be, you got to understand one thing about a capitalist society. Capitalism is, in essence, a society that can be self-sufficient. A capitalist society works for each other. The top 10% of individuals in a capitalist society, they saw an opportunity and they capitalized on it. Okay, somebody needed something done and they raised their hand and said that I'm the one to do it. Okay, and as a result, they were rewarded. They took on work, they took on stress, they took on a problem and was given a reward for successful completion of the problem. Okay, that is all a capitalist society is. These people have become so good at taking on problems and fixing issues that they were able to delegate these problems and issues to other people, teach them the same thing so that they can survive and they can become self-sufficient in their own way. Okay, this is how a capitalist society works. Now, when you understand this, you can start to see some of the issues that we will be faced with in the future. Jobs are disappearing. Okay, automation is taking over. I made a video on this subject, why brave people are starting businesses in 2021. Okay, I'm not gonna go over all of that again here. Check out that video if you want a more in-depth explanation. What you gotta understand is that people are not working as much as they used to. They're not making as much as they used to, okay? The 1% is getting way richer and everyone else is getting way less wealthy. The system is in fact designed this way, okay? Because not everyone can be the boss. It's just the reality of the situation. But if you hear this message, you now have the ability to become the boss. Okay, knowledge is power. Ignorance is bliss. Okay, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, if you want to be the boss and you want to have that power to do what you want in your life, you're going to have to take up an enormous amount of responsibility. The more responsibility, the greater the reward. So you understand that a capitalist, the top people in a capitalist society, they work for other people in the community okay, or one of the larger business in the community. Most of us work for other people in the community. We take that money that these people have made from the large corporations, okay, the giants, and we put that into our own businesses, our own pockets, our own community, and our own people. Okay, that is what the purpose of the capitalist society is. So you have to understand, when the community stops working, okay, there is not as much money in that community. All right, what happened during the recession? People lost their jobs. Businesses started shutting down. Local businesses, not the big businesses, the local businesses started shutting down. What happened last year in 2020? The same thing. Okay, when people do not work and they are not able to get their money from that superpower money pushing machine, whatever it is, the corporation, their jobs or careers, it hinders your ability to become financially free. So it's clear, okay, that if things keep going the way that they are and more people keep getting sent these stimulus checks and no real work is being done and the overall money in the community is starting to deplete, your small startup business, okay, your venture, whatever you're going to do to take money from the community, it's going to be a lot harder to do, at least do successfully, because there is not as much money in the community. Okay, so the longer you wait, the more difficult it is going to be. Not only is there going to be less money in the community, okay, we live in the age of information. Okay, it didn't take you very much to find this video and find this information. All right, everybody else has the same opportunity to do that. Okay, now you may have a golden idea, just like everybody else in the world. But if you're not taking action and implementing that idea today, somebody else is going to. And there's nothing you can do about that. Okay, the world is constantly expanding and evolving. If you do not move and take action, you will be left behind. Before you are able to achieve financial freedom, you have to understand what freedom is. Okay, freedom is the ability to get up when you want, do what you want that day, how you want to do it at your own pace. Okay, that is true freedom. That does not mean that you do not have to work. That does not mean that you do not have responsibilities that need to be tended to. Okay, all that means is that you are choosing which responsibilities you have to tend to. This is why so many people are not free, because they do not have the ability to consciously choose what work they want to do. Okay, no, they have the ability. It's just they do not know how to use that ability. They do not know how to implement that power, okay, and bring it into reality. There are 4 levels of freedom. You got mental freedom. You got physical freedom. You got spiritual freedom. And then you have financial freedom. It is very difficult to obtain overall freedom in all 4 of those places if you cannot achieve financial freedom. Financial freedom does not mean that you have the most expensive home or the nicest car. Okay, a $500,000 home is not financial freedom. That is financial enslavement. Okay, because it's going to take you 30 years, however long your mortgage is, to pay this off. You will have to work for 30 years to get rid of that debt. You are not free for 30 years. That is not what financial freedom is. Okay, and that is not the objective of financial freedom. The objective of financial freedom is to remove worry from the mind, okay, worry from the body, and worry from the spirit. Because now, when you're financially free, you can move as you want through the world. You don't have to wait. Okay, you don't have to take orders. You do not have to be a slave in somebody else's program, in somebody else's system. Financially free people have the ability to artistically create as they please and do what they want when they want. That is the purpose of financial freedom. You can be financially free with a $500,000 house. Just understand that the amount of work required to get there is extraordinary in comparison to being financially free as a homeless man. Okay, it's all up to what you want. Because in the real world, most of our issues are based on money. Okay, when you are able to pay your bills and you have food in your home, you don't have nothing to worry about. You're not worried about it. Okay, now you can use your time as you want. You can artistically create and express yourself how you choose. But as soon as you bring in the money issues, okay, now you got anxiety up here. Okay, you're dealing with depression. You're constantly worried. Okay, there is no rest for the weary. Financial freedom is so much more than having the nicest jewelry, okay, or being able to show off. Okay, it's about not being able to show up. That's what it's about. Okay, you don't have to go and do whatever else everyone else is doing, because you don't have to. You're free to do what you please. Because the truth is that we all must labor. Okay, everybody is responsible for some labor. If you're lucky, you have somebody in your life that took on your responsibility of labor and is supporting you. But somebody has to do work that contributes to the world in order for them to be comfortable in it. Financially free people understand this. That's why they choose their work. They choose what they are going to contribute to society. Okay, they choose how they're going to contribute by consciously analyzing and picking what their gifts are and seeing what they can do in their life. And understand that time waits for nobody. Okay, the longer you put this off, the more people who are going to be ahead of you and the more difficult your venture is going to become. So you have to take the first step and start now. Start today. Okay, every journey starts with the first step. Enjoy the process.